All right, everybody, we're back. This is Max here from DexTrader.com, and today is the 19th of September, 2018, and we're in the second part of that video series that I did today with Trading with Max. We came in on a demo because there's just a tremendous amount of news that was releasing here. The release of the day, we had this 10:30 news happening. We had crude oil inventories, which usually smacks the crap out of the USD CAD, which it's done. Here it's releasing at 10:30. In this last 15 minutes before 10:30, there was a lot of influx of news from this process. But I do think we're going to return back down south of this big, nice, huge bar at 29.80. But we'll see what happens. We got into one single trade, the USD JPY, because it was sort of at the money almost. It was really close. It was about 25 bucks. So we put it down and it just picked up very quickly. I don't really see this going against us too much on that, and I really don't see too many of the pairs coming on board from where we were at originally. So I don't really have something to tell you other than don't trade the news. You know, so when we get this big, huge amount of news pack that happens, like as we show on the website, you just go to the news tab. When the signals first release out at 8:15 for the 11 a.m. expiries, okay, there's this huge news tab that comes out, boom, right? And that could push the signals into, like if the normal process, like say it was heading down, okay, and the news comes out and then decides that if no news came out, it would probably pierce the bottom and this would have been a sell. But in most that would be in most cases, okay. But instead, the news comes out here and it pushes it back up to this direction and hits here, right? And so we say, all right, now that this is a buy, so this is where you would put the price for the working order, right? And so in most cases, we're hoping that it'll come back down and buy back in and go that way. That's how the signals work normally. But when you get news here that pushes this down, pushes this back up, and you get that news pack here before it immerses the bottom line, and then you get news here as the pullback happens, this could continue it on in an unfavorable direction, right? So since we say that, you know, usually that second news pack pushes it in the opposite direction, basically. And that's what we're looking for now. And that's why we're practicing in this format, is we can kind of see the USD JPY is going against the grain just a little bit. In fact, if we go back into, I bet you will see some good numbers coming up. 11 a.m. at the 112.40, 112.40, probably come back into the numbers. But if it doesn't happen in the first 15 minutes of that news, if there wasn't a big, huge spike there, I'm not really too worried about it. 29.82. Let's look at the USD CAD, as we can kind of see real quick. Came back in. There's where the news really shot and messed everything up earlier. Kind of pushed everything back out. Gave us this buy signal. Okay, and this is what I'm saying. This is where I think that if we can pierce this level here and it gets south of that, it's just going to keep going to try to get back down to that section right here. Okay, down around in here. Okay, it wants to continue on. So price wants to eventually get back down in this area, which would then blow this out of the water. But we only got about half an hour before the signals finish firing off. So honestly, I think we're going to gravitate right down here, and we may fall south, just south, right around this level, which would be really close to 29.74, 29.80 in that area. That's what I'm speculating, right? And that's pretty tough, especially for the USD CAD. Let me pull that up here. 29.80, right around that area. And that's what I speculate. Okay, I mean, I could put a working order on here, or I could put a trade on for the 29.80 to guesstimate, to hope for the best, because, you know, God, I'm only spending 35 bucks to get that $65 possible on an OTM. But that's not how I trade. I trade the dailies, and the dailies are pretty strong. They trade during news. They look at a lot of different things. Okay, so now the Audi USD just fired out from earlier. Let me go back and look at that one here as well. Audi USD 11. What was the number on that? That was 72.40 on the buy. But see, here's the other thing, okay? We're getting this correlation problem here. There's the Audi USD. This should be a sell, right? Because the Audis, you know, the USD here and the USD here, right? That should be a sell. Buy, yeah, this should have been a sell, but because it came out so, you know, almost an hour later after that first news pack, you know, this is what all these should possibly be a sell, and the Audi possibly could be correct now from that process. So there's a little bit of an issue with the news now. And again, when these kind of things happen, the market makers know on Nadex, right? Because look at this, there's no availability for anything, right? They're keeping it right in between everything. 72.60 is right here, okay? You should have at least something, you know, being right underneath. This should have something on it because it's so close to that. If any other time this was 5 pips away, it's crazy. So a little bit of time decayance or whatever, you know, there's no, they don't even know. So they limit the amount of contracts that are made available for this as far as of opportunity. But they want you to become speculative, right? They don't want you to make a lot of money. They want you to get this lower number, okay? And they don't, I personally, by the look at their numbers, I don't think they think it's going to be above, right? I think they think it's still going to be under 72.60 because they're not going to offer you something great, and there's not very much money on the above, right? This should be a lot higher. If they thought it was going to be above, they wouldn't offer this great of a deal here on this process, right? But who knows? You don't know what you don't know, right? All right. So we're going to hang out. I'm going to pause the video here. We're going to come back at 11 o'clock, see if this buys in. I think we're going to be okay on this, on the USD JPY. But again, I don't take the chance, even though it came out okay. All right. Even though that it came out okay to buy into this pair, I still don't think we had a good enough reason to be in, especially with the news the way it was. With an 8:30 dip and a 10:30 dip, just wasn't good. That's why I'm trading demo, just to practice a few things. All right, I'm Max. This is Dex. We'll see you in a second. Okay, so now I'm just toying with the numbers. The USD CAD in this shrink back pack of the system coming out, news alerting, hitting a high, coming back. This big red line here is sitting at 29.80. Right, so there's 1.2980, and this is pretty powerful, right? We got some touch there, we got some zone here, some more zone over here. I think this is pretty powerful because this is the side that we touched here. We've immersed past. If we are going to come down, we'd come down for a little bit and come back up to touch, and maybe then immerse back up. But I think we're going to be still south of this number. So that's why I gave the test here of checking the USD CAD in the last few moments here. We're going to see what happens. See if we can come back south here. And again, this is a test to see how the price action will work from that position, and if we can come off of it. So, but again, just testing here doesn't necessarily mean that it's a guarantee. Even if it does come back to win at these higher numbers, I'm not really too worried about it because I'm just practicing on a few things here. So. And I always suggest to try this. Before you even try to touch anything, make sure you do this 20, 30 times and come out on the right side, right? All right, I'll talk to you in a bit. Okay, so you can kind of see, you know, the numbers kind of start to push together. We've got picked up on the Audi JPY. I didn't put that on. That got picked up from the working order pack from down below because of the big drop. We might end up losing that one, only because there's that has a little bit of tension on it. Okay, and if you look at the graph over here, because we're experimenting here on the sell. Okay, let's come back in. Audi JPY on the sell, 81.60. Okay, and this was a push from earlier from the news, right? Pre-news, because news started at 8:30. So this is a pre-news push, but it could have gotten a leap from the rest of the stuff. But again, we're down below just a little bit in this last little minute and a half that we have left on the trigger here. So this is something that's really close to being pulled off, but you know, we dropped 17 pips on that USD CAD. I mean, we dropped really quick on that from that process. Once it got below the 2980. You see, once we got below that 2980 run, and got below this 2960, area, it was up here, 2980, right about in that direction. Once we got below that, it just started to drop, hit another level. Remember, I was telling you it's going to try to get back down to, this level here to continue on, and that's where it's trying to go right now, within that description. So about 35 seconds left. Not a bad run. I mean, if we can still stay strong on this 81.58 in the last 20 seconds here, we might come out of this pretty heavy on the positive side. And again, don't discount the fact that it is in demo. These numbers would have translated over because of the numbers that we're getting in here. I'm not doing anything wildly speculative, as well as AT or OTMs or super at the monies and stuff like that. I did buy into more of the 2980 factor, and again, there we are on the win. Not too bad. How much does that come to? Let's go find out here. Let me grab my account balance here. Now, this is what I would normally trade on live within the process, but this is my demo account for today. Okay, this is the only ones that I've traded for today. So it's this whole entire thing. It's not finished pandering out yet exactly how much, so it's not finished calculating yet. So we'll just wait a second. But again, testing out. I mean, the reserve was pretty huge. If we did have $18,000 in our account, we could afford to do that. You're sitting at less than 5% of your balance, so not too bad. Let's see if these come up yet. Transactions, view history. Yep, okay, there we go. Looks like everything sort of came out. Let's give it one more second. We got waiting for a few more things. Signals popped out, and everything looks like it's came out pretty good. USD JPY sitting on the 8.6 at the 112.40. It's pretty good. Let's try one more time. History, transactions, view history. There we go. Oh, wrong one. Transactions. All right, there we go. This is it for the day. Doopy 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 doopy. Oh, that's from last night. 18. Okay, right there. Copy. This is from today. This is all the 19th. Okay, let's go back in here. Here's the stuff that's, this is the live account from last night, but I just want to test out. I'm just going to pile this all in one big calculation. History equals sum. Oop. Equals sum. There we go. And boop. Yeah, so 151 bucks. Not too bad for just a couple hours worth of work. But this is all demo. Okay, so this was live. This was live money from yesterday, and this was demo money from today. So this is demo, just so we're completely clear and transparent. But again, practicing out how to trade that. The USD CAD was a good call. The USD JPY was a great call. USD CAD was sort of speculative, but using some numbers of the movement. The Audi JPY was sort of an add-on from the working orders. Okay, because it got real super close. So 81.60, right? 81.60, Audi JPY, 81.60. But again, this could have, it was only a couple pips, so it could have gone wrong. So that's basically the stage 2 of that video series that we did this morning from Trading Demo from the news. I wanted to put the news alert out to you, so hopefully you avoided that and you practice. If you did practice, great. Next batch of news or next batch of signals come out about 12:15 to 12:30, 1 o'clock. So I'm going to go grab some lunch, go chill out, produce this video out so you guys can watch the results. And hopefully you enjoyed yourself. Listen, smash the subscribe button. If you are not a subscriber to our channel, you should be. You get this great information. Look at all the stuff you've learned today, right? You learned about how to manipulate the market and work the market. If you want to look at getting this indicator system, go over to dexindicators.net and join that system over there. You get all the indicators for one low price a month. You can always cancel at any time. It's a month-to-month kind of thing if you end up not doing them or what have you, right? Plus, you get all the new stuff that comes out, all the great stuff. All right, I'm Max Vero. This is Dex Indicators. This is DexTrader.com, and we'll see you next time. I look forward to seeing you inside. And as always, trade well.